We have to keep on planting. And now we're doing herbs and one flower. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. We are going to plant some new seeds for this upcoming season. Hi, everyone. Today is February 9th. Is that right? I'm sorry. Today is February 8th, and it's time for us to plant some new seeds to get ready for this upcoming season. In my seed starting journal here, right here in this journal, it tells me that now that we have the onion planted, and now that we have all of the broccoli and the cabbage and the cauliflower and the kohlrabi and the Brussels sprouts, so all of those brassicas are done, it's time for me to work on my herbs. And there's one type of flower that I need to get started right now. The herbs that I've already taken the liberty to plant, because I forgot to turn the camera on, are the following. I'm going to be growing celery. And I know celery is not really an herb, but it's time to plant it. We're going to also do sweet marjoram, thyme, and sage. Now, that's not all of the herbs that we're going to do, but those are the ones that need to be planted now. I also need to do rosemary, but I can't do rosemary not just yet because I'm out of seeds. I need to get some more seeds for rosemary. But as I looked at how long it takes these seeds to be ready before it's time to transplant them, all of them are roughly anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks prior to putting out in the garden, which means they needed to be started right now because we want to put them in the garden right after our last frost for the spring. So they have to be done right now. So I've already taken the liberty and put some of them in here in my seed starting journal here. There's the list of all of the different vegetables and herbs that I plan on planting for now. And in here it tells me that my thyme, my sage need to be planted 1/8 of an inch deep. The rosemary is 1/4 of an inch, and I am supposed to surface sow the celery, and I did that already. Some of these seeds look like dust. Celery is one of them. It looks like dust. I mean, in your hand, you can barely even tell, at least me, maybe it's because I'm old, but I can barely tell there are seeds in my hands when I'm planting these. So I've already taken care of the thyme, the marjoram, sage, and celery. And I planted them to the depth that was on the seed pack. And I went ahead and sprayed the tops of them just like this, which I do quite often with some of my young seedlings. So I did those. And then I remembered to turn the camera on. So the other thing that I am going to go ahead and take care of today are some flowers. So I've never planted what I call a cool season flower, but I will be doing that this year, and we will be planting what's called a pansy. And I purchased pansies. I actually have never planted pansy seeds before, so I'm really excited about this. But I'm going to grow this giant pansy right here. We are also going to grow some mixes. There's a open pollinated mix here, and then there's it says a pansy mix that's an heirloom. I don't know, but we're going to plant them. And as far as how deep and all of that kind of good stuff, what is it telling me? Pansy is 1/4 of an inch deep. So I'm going to show you how I'm planting my pansies. It's the exact same way for those herbs that I forgot to tell you that I'm starting. But these herbs need to go in now, anywhere from 6 weeks to 10 weeks before your last frost date. So we will take care of these pansies. There's the mix, there's the heirloom, and there's the giant. I am going to plant a whole bunch of seeds in these teeny little cavities, and then we are going to up pot them later. You don't have to do this. You can put them in individual cells, and you would never have to do this step. I like to play in the dirt. And since I like to play in the dirt, I'm going to put multiple seeds in each one of these high density seed starting. And then as they germinate and grow, we will up pot them. Couple reasons why. I'm saving on my electric bill on how many of my lights that I need to turn on in my seed starting area. And if it doesn't germinate, I'm wasting space. So that's my reasoning. We will plant this giant pansy right now. Last year I did, I think it was like 2 GreenStalks, one for sure, 1 GreenStalk with nothing but pansies in it. And y'all, here's a picture of that GreenStalk. Oh, it was absolutely beautiful. Pansies just look amazing in the GreenStalks. And I had a ton of extra plants, and so I put some in another GreenStalk, and I mean, I put them everywhere, y'all. I had so many, but the difference is I purchased them. And this year we're going to try to grow pansies from seeds. I'm not a big flower person, y'all. I'm not. I grow flowers because they got to do some work. They got to bring in the beneficial insects for me. That's the only reason why I grow flowers. And pansies can start working earlier because pansies can take cool weather. They can take a light frost. Like the soil temperature only has to be 65 degrees to germinate pansies. And I've had pansies in the snow before. So pansies can handle frost. They can handle some cooler temperatures. And I can start having color in my garden sooner. So I've put all of the pansies, the giant ones, in here. I got all of my seeds right off of Amazon. I don't have a seed company for my pansies. I just went on Amazon. I saw what I saw, got what I got. Oh, well, I guess I need to open it all the way up. Y'all, we still trying to get all of this work done. I have traveled 4 weeks back to back for work. 4 straight weeks back to back. So I've been home less than probably a week over the last month. And so now I am playing catch up on everything. Now I'm probably planting way too many pansies as well, just to be honest with you. But we will see. We'll see how they germinate. Don't know anything about the seed companies, so it's probably a good idea to plant a few extra. I'm planting a total of 6 cells of pansies. This way I can slowly start up potting them once they start germinating. I should say 6 cells of each variety of pansies. And then it'll be too many. But maybe I could sell them at my seed or my plant sale that I have every year. I had some people ask me, can I do that? Do I need to register or anything like that? And I'm sure every city, township, state is going to be a little different in this space. For me, in my township, I can have 2 garage sales every year. And in that garage sale, I sell, well, now where are the seeds? There they are. During the garage sale, that's when I sell my young seedlings. So I do it at the same time so I don't get into any trouble. Trying to think what other questions have been asked. I had some people ask me, how do I keep from getting mold and mildew on my young seedlings? For one, I do not use a humidity dome. A lot of people do. I just choose not to. And one of the reasons I don't is because the few times that I have used it, I ended up with mold on my plants. And I don't want that. So I don't use the humidity domes. But I'm in my garden 5, 6, 10 times a day when I'm home. And when I'm not home, I have someone else in my garden for me. The other thing that I do is I make sure that I have fans blowing in my indoor grow space over my seedlings and everything. And that little breeze in my mind keeps the air moving, it keeps it from getting stagnant. And I honestly don't really deal that much with any type of mold issues. I have gotten some before, but not a lot, not enough to really be concerned about. And the only thing that I'm doing is keeping the air moving so that it's not too humid. The air is moving. I'm in a heated area in my basement. We keep the heat down here to right between 68 and 70 degrees, roughly. I do have all the lights on, and for some of my cool season crops, that's a little too warm. So with that, the fans blowing and circulating the air and everything into this space, I just really don't have a problem with mold. I hope I answered that question. For the one viewer that asked, okay, this one came with instructions on it. The best temperature for these young seeds to sprout is 64 degrees Fahrenheit to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, which is okay in my grow space. That's also 18 to 25 degrees Celsius for those who want to know. Soak in water 24 to 48 hours before planting. Y'all, I didn't do that step. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep right on going. It says do not keep them soggy, right? We don't want it too wet. You got to let the soil dry out some, which that part I did know because that's the same directions for all of our young seeds. All right, so I put the seeds in, but I didn't cover them up. And pansies, what did I say, 1/4 of an inch? Is that what I said? Yeah, 1/4 of an inch. I'm gonna have to add a column to my seed starting book next year, or a couple columns. One to talk about when to plant them, like, how many weeks before your last frost. And I'm gonna add a column on the depth they need to be planted. That way you're not constantly having to look at your seed packs because everything's in one place. So 1/4 of an inch, that's not deep, y'all. And as long as we're close, we will be fine. I use a seed starting mix, which is Jiffy. It's my preferred seed starting mix. There are others out there. You don't have to use a seed starting mix. That's just what I like to use. You can use whatever you choose. All I'm doing now, since I sprinkled that dirt on top, I'm going back and just smoothing it over to make sure it's covering all the young seedlings and trying not to make a mess. That's my goal, is not to make a mess. All right, my little helper had to give me just a little more soil back there. For the seed starting mix, I do boil it first so I can try to get rid of some of those unwanted pests that might be sleeping in the soil. We don't want to bring those into the garden, or should I say into my young seedlings. Those are done. I didn't make too big of a mess, but we have our pansies in. I've already told you about the 4 different types of herbs that I'm starting today. I am going to give the pansies a spray as well on top. And my soil is very damp. There's no reason at this point to water from the bottom, because that's how we're going to water all of these seedlings. All of them will always be watered from the bottom. And you don't want to water until your soil starts turning a light brown. I actually did a full video on how to water your plants. Oh my goodness, was that last year or the year before last? But a couple years ago, where I showed soil that was fully hydrated like this versus soil that's not hydrated. And when your soil needs to be watered, it's usually a light brown color, and it's pretty easy to tell. But if you can see, this is super dark. We would water from the bottom and let that water absorb into the plants. There's the pansies and a few herbs, and we're going to move those over to the indoor grow space. I am going to put it underneath this grow light right here, or should I say shop light, because that's what it is a shop light. We're going to sit it right up under here. We already have the light just a few inches above these seedlings, and that's where they will sit until they start germinating. So pansies and the first round of herbs are in. Let me put it back up here. I don't want to have any more accidents. There will be more herbs and more vegetables coming in basically every week from here on out, all the way up until we get to that outdoor grow space. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, consider subscribing to Kim's Cozy Corner, because I'm always going to be here just for you. And I'm going to be trying to answer the questions that you may be having. So drop me a line in the comments and I'll try to get to you. And if you really need a question answered, hit me up by email. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you hang out at Kim's Cozy Corner with me. Bye.